Hello there, and welcome back to Frozen Prairie Scouting. What a weekend it was. Can't believe it's already over. Many months of preparation for these teams, and the draft is over. That means the work doesn't stop for them, though. As you can see with some of the development camp rosters that have come out with undrafted players. Wow. Hopefully the team that you follow did well. But here's kind of my last ditch at the 2026 class. Today we are going over the winners and losers of the draft. Obviously this is still early, but let's take a deep dive into this. I'll show you some of my favorite classes, and then I'll show you a few of my favorite picks from outside of rounds 1 and 2 there. As we can see, it was a deep class this year. Many people had different rankings all over the board. You saw Daxon, Rudolph, Albert Smeets go ahead of Chase Reed, same with Carson Karls. I kind of saw that coming a little bit. He's kind of come out a little bit out of nowhere on Chase Reed. Still an amazing player, but I saw that too, personally. You see, obviously, the Sharks come out with a big first round. So without further ado, let's get in. Well, let's start it off with some of my top 5 drafts here I have. So first people first, I think everybody kind of knows. We got San Jose. You got Stenberg, Verhoff, Lynn, Nolan, Gustafsson, and the big 7-footer Karmanov. Okay, they had an incredible first round. Stenberg right up there at number 1 at some points this year. Going to be a great player to play with either Celebrini or Misa in the future. I think you've really solidified their top 6 there for the future. Then you grab the big right-hand defenseman in Keaton Verhoff at number 9, who, in my personal opinion, was the number 1 defenseman in this draft, but it was so tight that you see Rudolph go 4th, and Smits before Chase Reed. It was close. It was tight all year, and then Ryan Lynn, who I would say is probably the smartest player in this draft, especially on the defensive side, makes all the right plays. Yeah, he's not 6 foot, but this guy can skate. Can really dictate the play, has some offense, moves the puck really well. He'll fit right in San Jose in that lineup in the future. And then they kind of said screw it and grab Brady Nolan because he was falling so much, and that's the San Jose way, is best player available at all times. And then you take the swing on the 7-footer in Karmanov. You get his rights. He's going to play probably in the OHL next year. Maybe 2 years in the OHL before he goes to the NCAA. This is a kid that has a lot of runway for growth, so it just makes a lot of sense on that end. Number 2, I have the Anaheim Ducks. I love what they did. They went and bet on skill in every aspect of this draft here. Nikita Klepov, goal scorer. Marcus Nordmark, probably top 3 to 5 hands in this draft in vision. A guy can do a little bit of everything. I know some people said his attitude's a bit off. I love this pick, and I love that the Ducks did it. They're just, trying to do everything really well. Jaden Kurtz, great player. Mathis Preston, even, they got him. Speed and skill, man, this kid's going to be really good for them. And then they grabbed Noah Kosick so late. Looks like a steal as well. Another great player in the hockey IQ, offensive vision aspect. Next, not just because they got McKenna, they grabbed Alexander Bilecki, great player. Ethan McKenzie, I know he's been passed over a couple times, but man, what a player. Really excited for him to go there. I think it's going to be a great fit for him. Zach Olson, I'm a big fan of. Mans Goodmanson as well. And then they grabbed Cooper Williams late in the draft too. Just some great value picks with some, talent and skill, and also a bit of that grinder, work hard for it type of attitudes with these players. I think Toronto really restocked their cabinet, which is exciting for Toronto Maple Leaf fans. Next, I got the St. Louis Blues. I called Dagenet at 16. Go take a look at the thing. I thought he would fit really, really well there. Just plays that style of game. Love the. I also picked the Tyler Lawrence pick at 11. Just made sense though on that one. Like, I mean, St. Louis isn't the type of person to let talent slip, and Lawrence I think is going to be a great grab for them. Luke Scher, also a big fan of. Landon Nikes, great solid skater. Still working on a few tools, but he played in the NCAA this year. Really strong player. And then I really like the Steiner grab. I had him a little bit higher than where they grabbed him. I think it was in the 7th round. He could be a steal as well. So there goes St. Louis with Steen taking over. Get some really solid selections here in the 2026 draft. And then the LA Kings. A lot of solid selections. Grabbed a lot of value here based on rankings. Elton Hermanson, really strong player. Liam Lefebvre, I know he's a guy that got passed over, but had a heck of a year this year and a heck of a Memorial Cup. Adam Gollier, I'm surprised he fell that far. Blake Zielinski as well. That's another really strong pick. Thomas Vandenberg, another really strong pick. Georgios Pantelis, a guy that I had in the 50s. They got him so late. Pantelis, I could see, but he still fell like even further. Even if you had him, a little bit later, like this was a guy that everybody kind of thought was going to be a really solid pick. I think the Kings got a good one at this one, though. So it'll be, I think they'll look back at a very happy with their draft this year. My first honorable mention, Vancouver. Their late swing on Samuel Eriksson. Love the huge 6'5" defenseman. Take a swing on him. See if he develops. I've been big on this. I don't love the Malhotra pick with his dad taking over. I just think it makes things awkward. I would have loved for him to be able to kind of chart his own path. But hopefully it all works out because it'd be a cool story for sure. So hopefully that all does. The next 3 picks after him were really good. Novotny, they got him at 24, which I thought was really late for him. Brooks Rogowski, bet on the size. I mean, he's going to take a little bit to develop, but you got time. And then Nicholas Aram Olsen, wow. I didn't think he would be there at that point. I thought they would have had to grab him earlier in the second, but here we are. They got him as well. So this draft went really well for Vancouver, but they're my honorable mention, and strictly because I didn't love the Malhotra pick because I just didn't think it made sense. Next, I got Seattle. Got lucky with the Reed fall. I think some of the other teams ahead of them made some good decisions. I think for New York, Schmitz is a great grab. Mutrin, really great pick in the second round. I think he'll find a way into the NHL. He's that kind of player. And then I love that they decided to grab an absolute psychopath in Finn Kearns in the 5th round. Guy's got 263 PIMs in his U18 career. Guy just loves to hit, loves to hurt, loves to fight. Like this guy is, he'll have a fun year in Sudbury. He's a North style player. I'll say that. And then I think it's every year. Utah just seems to. San Jose and Utah, what I really like about them. Same with, I guess, Anaheim. I can throw in this now with Verbeek. They grabbed the best player available. Had all their picks. Get Belchets. And I can't believe Valentini fell that far. I know some people are like, had him ranked later than I did, but I had Valentini in the 1st round. I thought it would have been a great pickup for somebody in the 1st round. I think the kid's going to be good. And then they also grabbed an absolute psycho. Guy with 78 Knights who has 78 PIMs in 24 games at 6'5". And then they grabbed Houle, 93 PIMs in 52 games. Utah is building for the playoffs. And they're making, it's awesome. It's great to see. Now let's get into some of my underrated picks here. At 168, Villo Van Hadelo to Florida. Um, you know what? What a good pick there. Definitely some value for that for the Florida Panthers. So love that choice. And then one of my favorites is Parker Snell to the Columbus Blue Jackets. The goalie out of the Edmonton Oil Kings there. I remember watching him a few times here. And man, this guy's good. I watched him in the U18, and then I actually caught a few games with the Oil Kings this year, even in the playoffs when he was playing really, really well. I think this is a steal for the Blue Jackets. Just adding to that goalie cabinet, I think people have a tough time finding goalies, and when you have them, it's a great opportunity to be able to make moves later on in the. Even if they don't play for you, somebody's going to want them. Florida again, Cole Zarowski at 181. This is a player that's a really, really strong, kind of all-around player, but he's got a great shot. I expected him to go probably by 120, 125 at the latest, and there it is, Florida grabbing a player that could turn into something. There's a lot of development room left for this kid, but I thought Cole Jarowski's a very good player, and I didn't think he'd be there this far. In Detroit, grabbing Beckham Edwards out of Sarnia. This is a kid that I think will push and push and push, and he's got that kind of fight in him to make it. He brings a lot on the forecheck and play disrupting, and he has the ability to be involved even if it isn't on the score sheet. I do think there's a lot of offense there. I just don't know. He hasn't found it in the OHL, but I think this was a solid pick by Detroit. And then Lavir Gashlov. This feels like a New Jersey Devils picked. Skilled forward, manipulate time and space on the ice. Great playmaker. He's got a lot of development time to round out his game, but he could turn into something. They've done really well some of these later selections on Russians, and good for New Jersey. They have a good scout out there. And then another one of my favorites is Braden Klipke to Montreal out of Saskatoon. Two-way defenseman. I think not this year, but next year he's heading off to UND in North Dakota. He can dominate actually on the ice, both offensively or defensively. Kind of does whatever his team needs, and that feels like a Montreal pick. And Saskatoon, a lot of fun to watch, and I think they're going to be really good this year because I think most of their guys are coming back. Some of these picks there, you got Olsen, Williams, Klimke, and they got a couple guys coming up next year that are going to be really good hockey players too. So I'm excited to watch them here in the West, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. All right, well, let's take a look at the three losers I have for this draft. And I mean, I say loser, but you never know, right? I could be the most wrong person in the world here. But without further ado, let's take a look. I have Boston. Just a complete head scratcher of a draft. He took the 10th ranked EU goaltender at 56. That just makes, they've been good with goaltenders, don't get me wrong. But either all of us experts are wrong. I'm not really an expert. I'm actually pretty dumb. But, it was weird. And then they just picked a bunch of people that shoot. So just hopefully it works out, I guess. But we're probably 7 years away from seeing this turn out, I would say. But yeah, it's a weird one. Because when you look at a team like Boston, like you're trying to get prospects that more than likely are just trade pieces if you're really looking to go for it, and it just feels like they just like took. I don't know. I don't really know what to say. It was this one caught me off guard. I'm usually pretty. I usually like what Boston does, but this year, not at all. And then Edmonton, just straight mind-boggling. I don't hate the Rudolph Gallon selection, um, but you're a cup contending team and you're taking a very big project in my mind. Like, this is a guy who has now played 2 years in the USHL. His point totals aren't great. Yeah, he's got some size. He can skate a little bit. He doesn't show me a lot. Um, my, you hope that he can figure it out. I don't think he's ready for the NCAA, so I think he's got to go to the USHL, not the USHL, the CHL, and then maybe we can see a little bit more out of him. And then he just took 2 straight Windsor Spitfires in round 5 and 6. An okay team this year. Like, yeah, they made the playoffs. They did, but they didn't do a lot there. It just makes you wonder, like, other than they took the one player out of Sweden, like, do they only have Ontario, Michigan scouts now? There's just one scout that in Ontario and Michigan, and then that's where they're drafting from every year? Because it, like, literally, it was Muskegon and Windsor, and that's pretty much. And Ryan Cameron, the goaltender they took in the 7th round. Okay, not bad, I guess, but not good at all, actually, if you look at rankings and everything. And it feels like the one scout they have in that area saw him play against Muskegon and was like, cool, let's take a flyer on this guy. Like, it was very, it's an odd draft. With what I had seen available at all of their picks, I just leaves you wondering what's going on there, right? And I know the draft isn't their priority, but again, you're a contending team. But you need to replenish the cabinets, right? You're not planning for 7 years down the road. No, you need to be trying to grab players that are going to come in and play, the next 3 years. Again, yeah, I'm just that one was mind-boggling to me. And then my third one is Tampa. And it's not that I hated their draft. I just find that they're straight hoping. I do think the Kubiakin pick, their first pick there, I'm a big fan of him. I can see what they see. I see a little bit of Kucherov in this kid, actually. And he's playing at Halifax. That makes you laugh a little bit. But after that, it was just straight hope plays. They took a 2005 defender out of Slovakia. Why didn't you just sign him? We took a forward out of the USHL who has 49 points in 62 games and then 4 points in 14 playoff games. Doesn't really scream much to me. I didn't watch this kid really because he wasn't really on my radar. I don't hate the 7th round pick there, the big 6'3" mobile D-man. He could turn into a little bit of something. But these 3 teams left me, and again, there were teams that obviously made a lot less picks, but these teams had, a decent amount of picks, but it didn't feel like they did much with it. You wonder what goes on or who has all the say in these rooms sometimes, because I think Boston maybe took the second goalie off the board after Calgary took Tobias Trejbal, but this guy wasn't on, I don't think, I guess none of the radars for people that, post content or, things that I try and read, and then I watch a little bit. I watch quite a bit there too. Just really funny all around. And there you have it, folks. My winners and losers of the NHL Draft. Now that I got this new mic, I think it'll be a lot easier for you guys to all understand me. What I'm going to be working on now is some 2027 stuff. Gonna check out some of those players. I've watched a few of them now, but I'll give you kind of my, top 15 for next year's draft. Maybe look at some of the more Western guys as well. Ivan Helenka coming up later on this summer, but let's keep working at this. All right. Looking forward to getting some feedback from you guys, and let me know what you think. But again, thank you for liking, subscribing, Frozen Prairie Scouting here. Just a guy just trying to have some fun. Thanks.